bad enough. But it also includes hundreds of billions of dollars in cuts to education programs, such as Head Start, student loan programs, cutting of Pell Grants, and on nutrition assistance, devastating SNAP. So just yesterday, I took the lead in working with a number of my Democratic colleagues, introduced the Hands Off Our Medicaid and SNAP Act to protect Medicaid. But I have to say, it is almost touching how committed my Republican colleagues are to delivering tax cut for their billion-dollar donors. They are unbelievable employees for the billionaire class. They will do absolutely anything and everything to deliver these tax cuts to those who need it the least, while taking away from those who need it the most, who need the help the most, and who can afford to lose these programs the least. So I am with you in this fight. It's halftime and we're losing, but it's not over yet. Just a couple Republican votes in the House could make and would make the difference. So this is a time to be active, as you are, and I realize I'm preaching to the choir on that. This is the time to be loud, to be proud, and to contact those House Republicans who every election time run the same ad. I'm so independent. I do the right thing regardless of party. I'm so bipartisan. Give me a break. Then look at the vote total. This is an opportunity for those House Republicans who are in, by the way, very swing seats, to hear from their constituents, to stand up and do the right thing. Thank you very much. And with that, I already mentioned him a few moments ago. My partner in this, I happen to be the ranking member of the House Budget Committee, the ranking member of the Senate Budget Committee, and someone who is just a great co-captain in this effort, Senator Jeff Merkley.
Brendan Boyle, let's hear it for our champion in the House. We're going to stop the reconciliation bill. Now, I just saw a sign over here about Doge. Can I borrow your sign, or you want to bring it on up here? Doesn't that about sum it all up? Dangerous oligarchs grab everything. Well, I'll tell you, I'm a member of the Hell No Caucus. Are you a member of the Hell No Caucus? You know, when the Republicans say they want to slash $2 trillion from the basic programs families depend on, we say, hell no. When the Republicans say we are going to slash Medicaid, we say, hell no. When they say that they're going to cut our education fundamentals that help next generation thrive, everything from Pell Grants to student loans to Head Start, we say, hell no. I have to tell you, not only are they slashing the programs families depend on to thrive, they are also running up massive debts for the next generation. Now, I asked for a Congressional Budget Office report updated because the Republicans have updated tax giveaway strategy. And before we were saying, wow, over 10 years are going to inflict some $4.6 trillion. And then now it's $7 trillion of new debt. New debt, why? For tax cuts for billionaires. And we say, and they want to extend in the Senate these tax cuts beyond 10 years, breaking one of the fundamental fiscal responsibility provisions, saying not just increasing deficits over 10 years, but year 11, year 12, on year 30. And now the CBO this morning gave us the new numbers over 30 years. It is $52 trillion in new debt. When they say they want to burden the next generation with massive new debt, we say, and let me tell you what else CBO said. They said this additional debt will increase the interest rates, meaning that ordinary families will have to pay more on home loans. Ordinary families will have to pay more on car loans. When they want to increase the interest rates, we say, and CBO said even more, which is it will shrink the economy. Now, the Republicans over time have had this pitch. It's been phony, but the pitch is, hey, the tax cuts will increase the size of the economy, and the result will be that, everyone will benefit, rising ocean raises all boats and all that. Well, it's always been fictitious. But now we hear from the Congressional Budget Office that this strategy of massive new debt will shrink the economy. So 30 years out, the average family will support.
Hello. Connecticut for all is in the house. Woo, woo, woo. We're going to do a couple of quick chants before we introduce our senator. So listen to us. No more cuts. It's not fair. Make the rich pay their share. No more cuts. It's not fair. Make the rich pay their share. No more cuts. It's not fair. Make the rich pay their share. No more cuts. Woo woo. All right, give it up for Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut.
All right, who matters more, the people or the billionaires? Let me ask you again, who matters more, the people or the billionaires? Listen, guys, we have work to do, right? We have work to do. There is thievery happening down the streets. They are stealing from the people of this country, and we are not going to let them get away with it. So listen, this is really important what you're doing, and I just want to remind you of a similar moment. So back in 2017, when Trump was president the first time, what was their number one priority? Their number one priority was to repeal the Affordable Care Act, right? To get rid of health care for 20 million Americans. And I was here during that time, and I remember that the political pundits, all the smart people in Washington said, it's a done deal. It's their number one agenda. They control the House, they control the Senate, they control the White House. Obamacare is dead, right? But did they kill it? And they didn't kill it because we mobilized, because we organized, because we threw sand in the gears at every single point in that process, because what they were trying to do was so deeply immoral, but it was also so deeply unpopular, right? And what they are trying to do right now, this reverse Robin Hood, in which they steal from the poor and the middle class in order to enrich the very, very wealthy. Who's asking for that in this country, right? No one. No one is asking to throw millions of people off their health care, to close rural hospitals and drug treatment centers all across the country just so that a billionaire can get another $100,000 in a tax break. No one is asking for that in this country. I frankly don't even know what it would be like to be a billionaire with an extra $100,000, right? I have no idea the kind of rapacious greed that it takes for somebody to demand more when you have so much. But you know what? I do know what it feels like and looks like. I know what it feels like for somebody who is living paycheck to paycheck, right? Who relies on Medicaid in order to make sure that their sick child gets the medications they need. I know what it feels like for that person to wake up one day and have their safety net ripped out from under them, right? I know the pain, the agony that involves. And so we have a job to do. We have the power, not the billionaire class, not the thieves down the street. We can do in 2025 exactly what we did in 2017. We can be a constant presence, not just here in Washington, but back in their states. If they won't meet with you, go find them, show up to their offices, show up to their public events, right? Demand that they answer to you why they are putting the billionaires first. The people in this country have the power. There are more of us than there are of them. Democracy is fragile. It is under assault today, but it is still alive in America, right? The people of this country still have the power. What they are doing is immoral. What they are doing is unpopular. They are having a hell of a time passing it as we speak. All we have to do is convince a handful of Republicans that they will never, ever set foot in their offices again if they vote for this billionaire tax cut. So listen, do the work. And I'll just end with this. Listen, I know that you can wake up every day and feel anxious and feel angry about what they're trying to do to our country, what they're trying to do to Medicaid, what they're trying to do to give billionaires tax cuts, but also wake up with a little sense of joy, right? A little sense of joy because you are here today, because you are at a point in your life where you can speak truth to power. You live in a country, right, where accountability still exists. You live in a nation where you can stand up, speak up, and stop evil from being perpetuated on the people of this country, right? So I'm angry, I am anxious, but I am also joyous because I know that when the day comes, we are going to be able to stand together and say that together, united, we were able to stop the biggest transfer of wealth ever in this country from the middle class and the poor to the rich. We will stop this tax cut for the wealthy. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. The next part of our program is really personal to me. I got in this fight as a working mom with 5 kids when budget cuts came for my kids' schools 25 years ago. I'm a kid who grew up on Social Security when my dad passed away when I was 9. And in 2006, medical debt put me into a financial strain where I lost my house. This is personal to so many of us. And many of you are here from all over the country: Utah, Iowa, Florida, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan. This is a national movement where we are the people that we've been waiting for. Our stories are the ones that they need to look us in the eye as they do harm. And so I'm so privileged to be in this fight with you, and I'm so privileged to introduce incredible people like all of us that are here to share what the impacts are, how this hurts our neighbors, our families, ourselves. So I'm going to give it up for our next round of speakers.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caden Sagendorf, and I come to you from Salt Lake City, Utah. But more importantly, I come to you who is someone who has lived through a system that too often forgets the voices of people who elected them. It is an honor to be here in DC surrounded by leaders, advocates, and change makers, but I'm not just here standing for myself. I'm standing here for the hundreds of thousands of young people whose voices were not heard. I am here today as a testament to what Medicaid has the power to do and to share with you all that Medicaid is in fact saving lives. I was placed into the foster care system at birth and spent 10 days in the NICU withdrawing from meth, marijuana, heroin, and cocaine. I was then later adopted 7 months later. But at the age of 15, my adoption failed and I was placed back into the foster care system where I aged out at 18. My time in foster care, I endured tremendous amounts of physical, emotional, and psychological abuse. There are so many nights where I didn't think I'd be standing here before you all today. That pain nearly cost me my life. Not because the system worked, but because programs like Medicaid gave me access to vital care that I needed to live. Medicaid was not just a policy, it was my lifeline. Medicaid is the primary insurance for over 400,000 children, youth, and young adults in the foster care system. And those attacks on Medicaid are not just attacks on foster youth, like myself, but on all the Americans, young and old, and our lives depend on it. We must build a world where our lives are not politicized, but prioritized, where our needs are not dismissed, but demanded, where our voices are not background noise, but the driving force for change. We cannot keep acting like these policies are not affecting us when we are the ones living the consequences of decisions made by those who are not impacted by them. This is not a partisan issue. This is a moral one. This is about the kind of nation we choose to be. Will we choose compassion? Will we choose justice? Will we choose to believe that the people, especially those in foster care, deserve a brighter future? As the richest nation in the world, we must stop treating programs like Medicaid like burdens on a budget and start taxing the millionaires and billionaires who are not paying their fair share. So to every lawmaker, to every neighbor, and to every person with the power to influence change, which is all of us here today, I ask you to fight alongside us to protect Medicaid and protect the lives of the American people. We are not statistics, we are not afterthoughts, we are the future, and we are here.
Hey, we're on a time limit here, so I'm Mickey Rottinghouse, and I come from Iowa. I stand here today to speak on behalf of people like my son, Tucker. I stand here to speak for Medicaid. On July 28th, 1994, Tucker's life and that of our family was changed in a matter of moments. At a friend's apartment, he was shot with a .22 caliber handgun. The bullet that left that unsecured handgun and entered the side of my son's neck left him paralyzed. In the moment before that tragic turn of events, Tucker was an avid skateboarder, a wrestler, a drummer, and a singer. He was an excellent student, a witty jokester, a maniacal brother, and a stalwart friend. His first jobs were waiting tables, detailing cars, and working at a call center. All that came to a screeching halt. The next 2 months in ICU led to the certainty that Tucker would need to learn a new way of living a life without mobility. But for all that he'd lost in that split second of rash behavior, he had retained the essence of who he is. He still had his intelligence, his stamina, tenacity, temerity, strength of spirit, and sense of humor. His humanity had been left intact. Told rehab would take him 4 months. Tucker completed it in 2. He came home in November and was back in college in January. He finished his degree in psychology in 1999. Our Medicaid story starts on December 10th, 1994, when I came home from school and was informed by the nurse that her agency would need $613 to send anybody the next day or the following week. Well, health insurance had only covered 20 in-home healthcare visits. This was day 20. I had just gotten my paycheck, $2,400 for the month. I'm only a reading specialist, but even I could do that math. I got on the phone with the DHS case manager and I laid it out. This waiver that we applied for that is yet to be approved, it's incredibly important. Without it, I will need to quit my job, and the government will be covering not only Tucker's care, but that of mine and his two siblings. For some reason, the waiver was expedited, and I kept my job. This past Friday night, in a speech on the Senate floor, Senator Michael Bennett pointed out, a party describing itself as pro-life is choosing happiness to all our citizens. I will stand up. I will speak out.
To leave her family to care for someone else's family. Sure isn't. Speak on it, okay? It ain't. I was sent home in a lift. Can you believe that? A lift? Really? A lift. I still was unable to walk, speak clearly, or take care of myself. My care was basically rested on my 9-year-old and my 17-year-old at that time. And no child should have to care for their parent at that age without any professional training.
When I got home, I was promised home health care. It never showed up. Okay? And because of that, I never really recovered. I had to reduce my hours at work, earn less money, but the bills they kept showing up right on time. They didn't care that I had a stroke. They didn't care what I had going on personally. The bills were still knocking at my door like, hello. Okay? But it was the only way that I knew to keep a roof over my head. So I had to keep pushing through. My daughter, my youngest daughter, who at the time when I had my stroke was 9, she's 12 now. She has severe asthma and life-threatening food allergies. Medicaid only covers 1 EpiPen a year. Just 1. Yeah, just 1. Any replacements, if she has an allergic reaction or goes into anaphylactic shock, any of those things have to come out of my pocket. And it costs $200 for any replacement pen. So I cut coupon count programs. I do whatever it is that I have to do to make the ends meet. I make sure to keep God first and foremost. I pray that I don't have to need a second EpiPen. I depend on Medicaid because when I have no other recourse. And yet lawmakers, our lawmakers, the ones we elected them. Absolutely. That's right. That's right. So we elected these people into office and they want to cut it even more. Every single time an election comes up, they want to take jabs at Medicaid, an already gutted program. You better. You better, right? They always take shots at Medicaid. They want to cut it. They want to get rid of it because they want to keep the rich richer. But the rich don't need to be richer. They got enough money. They need to give us some of their money. Okay? That's right. That's right. But lawmakers want to cut. They want to cut from me. They want to cut from you. They want to cut from the people that we love. 1 in 5 Americans depend on Medicaid. Some of their families, these lawmakers' family, they may not probably talk about those family members. They depend on Medicaid too. Okay? Absolutely. Absolutely. They depend on Medicaid just as well. I keep loved ones safe. My own loved ones, their loved ones. I'm not asking to be rich. I just want to make enough to provide for my family in peace. This work should pay more. It should come with dignity and respect. And Medicaid should protect both the people receiving the care and the workers who provide it. They need to fund it. They need to protect it. They need to raise our wages. And because we are the ones holding this system together, they need to leave Medicaid alone, and we will not stand for it. We won't stand for it. So each and every individual that is here today, we know that there are power in numbers. And we ain't going to stand for it. We're going to keep fighting, and we're not taking it laying down. And for my language, people here, si se puede. Yes, we can. Thank you.
How y'all doing today? Can we give it up for Jacqueline one more time? My name's Ben Lujan.
I'm a United States Senator out in New Mexico. You know, all this stuff going on right now. I was moved by Jacqueline's words. You know, 3 years ago, I had a stroke. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was blessed because there was a machine called a CT scan that they took a picture of my brain. They shoved me in this little hole in a machine called an MRI. Took a picture of my brain. Said I needed a little bit of help and support. I'm one of the fortunate ones. I mean, this is what a stroke survivor can look like. So what happens when my colleagues say to most of America that get their care from a little something called Medicaid when they're going to tear this thing apart? When my Republican colleagues say they're not touching Medicaid, they're leaving it up to the states. All they're doing is taking the federal money. If they take the federal money, they kill the program. So what happens to all my constituents, is all my friends and neighbors, people that are going through something like I went through, when they try to go get a picture of their brain, they're told, Medicaid's not going to cover that. Do you have some other insurance? You have some other way to pay for this bill? Or is this going to be a death sentence? Or are you going to get the care and then you're going to get stuck with the bills? And then you're going to lose your home. You're not going to be able to take care of yourselves. It's one thing after another. And then to boot, when my colleagues are trying to take away Medicaid, and don't believe their lies when they say they're not, it's about to come. You know, the family that I was raised in, they said the cover up is worse than the lie. And then to boot, so they go after Medicaid, and now they're saying they want to get rid of food programs. President Trump fired all the people that deliver Meals on Wheels to people like my mom. So they get rid of SNAP, they get rid of Medicaid, they ruin the Farm Bill. And then my Republican colleagues have the audacity to say that it doesn't cost a penny. You all got to be mindful of your budgets, man. You all know what the Congressional Budget Office is? They're scorekeepers, right? So I got this one document that says this thing costs $37 trillion. Well, if that's not enough, here's another one. After President Trump's nonsense over the last week, we asked them some other questions. This one says it costs $52 trillion. Well, I'm just saying, so much from my colleagues that preach fiscal discipline. I'm not going to go there, though. But this president doesn't know what he's trying to get rid of it. This is what Head Start does. It gets you to the United States So look, as I wrap up,
and when you have the unmitigated audacity to come here and remind the folks over there that that's not their house, this is the people's house, it makes a huge difference. So you keep showing up, and I promise you that I and my colleagues are going to keep showing up for you. Give my brother Ben Ray Lujan a great big round of applause. He's right. He and I are both alums of Head Start. And I probably don't have to tell you that it's in it, which historically has been a place sons of American aristocracy. And I do mean sons because there weren't many women. You're not going to run into many United States senators who are alums of Head Start. But that's a program that gives poor children a chance. It inspires them, exposes them to literature and reading and a love of learning, because all children are naturally curious, and if you bump into a child who doesn't have that, believe me, something or somebody stole it from them. The trauma of being poor robbed them of the natural intellectual curiosity about the world that all children have. I've got a word for you. God raises up genius and brilliance and talent all over the world, on all sides of town, on both sides of the railroad track. God is an equal opportunity employer, and it makes sense for us to invest in children because we don't know what they're going to contribute. So the folk who want to run roughshod over Head Start don't get it. And the reason why so many of them don't get it is not simply because they were born rich. I'm not going to hate on anybody because they were born rich, because I didn't decide to be born poor. But you ought to at least spend enough time with ordinary people so you don't end up saying dumb things like, if my mother-in-law misses one Social Security check, big deal. Of course it's no big deal to her. Her son-in-law is a billionaire. That's not my story. That's not the story of the people who are in this crowd. Right? In the words of that great prophet and poet Kendrick Lamar, they're not like us. We need people in government who, regardless of their background and where they were born, are sensitive to the concerns of ordinary people. Hardworking Americans. The poor people that so many in our government over the last 40 years, most of my life, have been busy maligning, criminalizing poor people for being poor. That's why we're in this mess. That's why they're obsessed with giving a tax cut to those who don't need it. while taking resources away from those who need it so desperately just to survive. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing that all of us apparently have in common. We all like tax cuts. Everybody likes tax cuts. The debate is about who ought to get one and who really needs one and what's the best way to move our economy forward. They want to give a tax cut to millionaires and billionaires, and they've been engaged over the last few weeks in creating a lot of theater, tragic theater, that has implications for people's ability to actually live, firing federal workers and making them the enemy, firing folks at the CDC, closing down Social Security offices across Georgia and across our country, and announcing that they were going to do it on the Doge website. And when I called them out for it, they were at least a little bit embarrassed because they took it off their website and acted like they didn't say it. But my staff took screenshots of that website. Yes, you said it. We know what you said. And we know what you are trying to do. You're not trying to cut tax. You're not trying to cut waste and fraud and abuse, because if you were trying to cut waste and fraud and abuse, I know an unelected billionaire who's received $40 billion in federal aid and support and loans. I know where you can find some waste and fraud and abuse, and his name is Elon Musk. And so all of this is a distraction, because Donald Trump is just trying to pay off his friends. He's trying to pay off millionaires and billionaires. Again, I'm not mad at you because you have money. I just believe that the strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak. I just believe that we are all in this together. The pandemic taught us that. Georgia to have Medicaid. So is all about. So keep showing up. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep raising your voice, because this is not about is good morals and common sense. Show me your budget and I'll show you who you think matters. and who you think is dispensable. Show me your budget. And I'll show you what you think about children. I'm going to stand up for my children. Are you going to stand up for yours? I'm going to stand up for my mother who needs her Social Security. I'm going to stand up for everybody's children so that my children are all right. So let's stand together. Let's work together. Let's vote together. Let's fight together. Let's pray together. Let's stay together. Don't give in to the demagogues. Don't give in to the division. We rise together. God bless all of you. Keep the faith. Keep looking up.
Following Senator Warnock is not a piece of cake. But let me tell you something. This is not complicated, folks. We're saying, and I'm the ranking Democrat on the tax writing committee, we're going to keep it real simple. No bailout for billionaires. And the reality is, we know how the Republicans want to pay for it. They want to say that people on Medicaid, people who are hungry, people who need a roof over their head, that they're going to lose all that. And that somehow they're going to take that money and put it over there in the billionaire pot. Billionaires are doing just fine right now. Do you know that with 3 words, we studied up on this in our committee, just 3 words, buy, borrow, and die, those billionaires can pay little or no taxes. And we're going to stop them. That's what we've got to do here. And Senator Warnock, who's so thoughtful, you know, he's really famous. I'm barely a household word in my own household. But what he said sums it all up. This is about choices. Every member of the United States Senate, when we vote on this reconciliation bill, has got some choices. And the people who are here today, our choice is to be with you. And before you leave, and you're going to have some terrific speakers, you might want to walk by those big office buildings down there. Those big office buildings are full of people who are out doing chores for the billionaires. They're figuring out how to sign the texts and the emails and the campaigns and all that kind of thing. And my goodness, they got a lot of money to do it. But the reason I'm here today is in the choice between their money and your voices and your energy and your commitment to democracy. We're going to stand with you. We are going to stand with you. And I'll close with one last point. Saturday morning, about 4 a.m., I was asked for the Senate Democrats to offer the proposal to strike this outrageous thing they're talking about over in the House. Cutting $880 billion. Make no mistake about it. Your signs say protect Medicaid. You can't protect Medicaid. You can't protect people who need help with nursing homes or kids or the disabled. You can't do that if you cut $880 billion. Well, you all did a terrific job. You did an incredible job. We lost by one vote. One vote. Last Saturday morning at 4 a.m. And I went home and called my wife. She stayed up. I said, sweetheart, we lost by one vote. But the people are on the move. The people are on the march. I'm going to offer that proposal to protect Medicaid again and again and again until we get it done and the billionaires understand they are going to have to pay their fair share like everybody else in America. Onward we go. Thanks. Go by the billionaire supporters. Let them know we're on the move. We're going to win. Thanks. God bless.
We win. That's right. And that's what we see here. We see people across the country just like you rising up, mobilizing, showing up in the town halls, even when the members of Congress won't have the courage to meet their voters. We're taking to the streets. We're organizing. And we're saying in one clear voice, hell no. Hell no. I like this crowd. So let's give some credit where credit is due. Can we hear a little shout out for all the moms who are leading resistance? Because we know moms are bearing the brunt of these attacks. We know moms are going to pay the heaviest price. We also know that moms are going to put an end to this insanity. Because Republicans are dismantling Head Start and childcare. They are defunding our public schools, taking the public right out of it. They're going after SNAP and programs that feed hungry people in this country. They're attacking Medicaid. And now Donald Trump's decided to wage a trade war. It's not really on other countries. He's waging a trade war on American families. Because what's going to happen to the cost of baby formula, to diapers, to car seats, and Lord knows moms need their coffee. And so we are going to make sure that we say, we're not doing this. Hell no. And why is this all happening? Why are they doing all this? They're telling us every single day. You guys get the theme. It's so Elon Musk can pocket another tax break. So SpaceX can get its hand on another contract. So bankers can give themselves a bigger bonus. So the billionaire class can hoard more power and privilege and wealth. That's the playbook. More freedom for them, less for you. More money in their pocket, taken from yours. But here's the thing. We are not going to be quiet. We are not going to go peacefully along with this plan. So when they say we're going to cut Medicaid in this country, what do we say? When they say that we are going to cut Social Security that you earn, what do we say? When they say we're going to take away veterans' benefits, what do we say? And when they say we are not concerned that you pay your taxes, we're giving a tax cut to the billionaires, what do we say? This is how we win. We do it together in partnership, and I am so proud to be in this fight with you. Thank you. Woo!
Thank you. Well, hi, everybody. It's so great to be here with you all. My name is Sarah Jacobs. I represent San Diego, and I think we need to tax rich people more. But you may be thinking to yourself, that's pretty unremarkable. Every single person who's come on this stage today has said the very same thing. But the difference is, my grandfather founded a Fortune 500 company. So when I say we need to tax rich people more, I literally mean we need to tax me and my family more. And the difference between me and all of the rich people who support Donald Trump is that I know that my family was able to do that with hard work, a lot of luck, and opportunities that are only available here in America. You see, my grandfather was the first in his family to go to college, and he was able to graduate from college and from grad school without any debt. He was able to work at a public university and found a company, all because of America. My family got to live the American dream. Do you know what I did to earn all this money? I was born. That's all I did. And now I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure that every family gets the opportunity to live the American dream. And right now, that is so far from possible for so many people, because we know even before all of the craziness that Donald Trump is doing now, the status quo was not working for too many people. The status quo left too many people in poverty or on the edges of poverty, just one emergency away from losing everything. It left wages stagnant for 50 years while corporate profits skyrocketed. It left people forced to take on a second or third or fourth job just to make ends meet. The status quo meant that only 1 in 4 renters who qualify for housing assistance actually got it. For childcare, I know we've got a lot of childcare providers here. For childcare, it was even worse. Only 10 to 14% of kids eligible for childcare assistance actually access those benefits. There are way too many holes in our social safety. The American people trillions of dollars, and all the American people trillions of dollars, and all of this, every single thing is to pay for the biggest tax cut in American history. This thing is to pay for the biggest tax cut in American history. This is the biggest wealth transfer ever, and it's going from the lower and this is the biggest wealth transfer ever, and it's going from the lower and middle class to the rich. So let's to the rich. We care about making sure about making sure that our friends and neighbors can put food on the table, can live and age with dignity, and can get the health care that they need. We care about our democracy and the rule of law. We care about making the dream, the American dream, a reality for everyone. And because Because we care, we are never going to stop fighting. I am so honored to be doing this work. We care, we are never going to stop fighting. I am so honored to be doing this work alongside all
in this country. I hope to be standing with you all to guarantee in this country. I hope to be standing with you all to guarantee affordable childcare for every young person in this country. I hope to be standing with you all to guarantee universal health care for every person in this country. But unfortunately, we are here to defend our progress. We are here to defend health care for nearly 1 in 4 Americans, including nearly 1 in 2 kids who rely every single day on life-saving coverage under Medicaid. We are here to defend food assistance for families across this country who struggle to pay for the basic goods. We are here to defend qualified workers, unionized, qualified federal workers who are being summarily fired from their jobs by unelected billionaires. We are here to stand up to an effort to destroy programs that people rely on, to demonize the diversity of our government, all in an effort to prove that government can't work by making it not work. All in an effort to slowly but surely dismantle the federal government and sell it for parts to the highest bidder. I just came with Representative Jacob Whip Clark and my other Democratic colleagues from the House floor, where we voted. We know the programs and the care and the support that so many of us and so many vulnerable people across this country rely on are at risk in this moment. But we are here too, because we know, as Senator Booker said on the floor in that 25-hour speech, that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. We are here to make sure that not only they, but that the American people understand the consequences of this budget. But we are also here to make it clear that there are consequences for politicians who vote for this heartless budget. We are here to guarantee that our colleagues on the other side of the aisle are more worried about losing the next election because they stand with Donald Trump and billionaires rather than standing up to him. And there is good news. The good news is that there is still time. If we continue to fight, if we continue to lift our voices, if we continue to share the stories that you are about to hear, the stories that you bring with yourself to this space, we can defeat this budget. We can push back on its worst excesses. We can protect Medicaid in this moment, just as so many of you did in 2017 when you saved the Affordable Care Act. Our voices matter in this moment.
And we are mobilizing to not only defeat this resolution, but to take our country back. Because we will not let them turn back the clock on our nation's progress. We have still so much work left to do. We still have to provide universal health coverage for every person. We still have to provide paid family and medical leave. We still have to provide affordable childcare. But I am confident that if we stay in this fight, if we summon our hope, then we can find the light and we can change this world. That we can turn this moment into what my friend from Florida once called a slingshot moment, where yes, we are pulled backwards, but the pressure and tension of being pulled backwards ultimately propels us to destinations that we've not yet been. Thank you all very much. It's an honor to be with you in this fight.
Si se puede, si se puede. My name is Richard Blumenthal. I'm from Connecticut. I'm a United States Senator, and I am with you because you are the people, you are the source of our strength here, and I just want to say, hands off Social Security. Hands off Medicaid. Hands off reproductive freedoms. And all of these programs, let me just be real blunt, they're on the chopping block, no secret. That's why you're here. And I just want to say thank you. Because your face, as we speak, as we gather here, are waiting in line in Social Security offices because they can't reach anybody on the phone. Nobody is responding to their emails. There is nobody to contact when they don't get what they can afford to buy, which ultimately tanks our economy. So I want to thank Fair Share America. Fair Share America. How about a big Big shout out for Fair Share America. Fair.
Hello, everybody. Are you ready to fight? That side wasn't ready. Are you ready to fight? Whether it is the night care manager at Target or the surgeon at Target. Or the certified nursing assistant, or the truck driver, or the Amazon worker. All workers who are parents know that I have their back. Amen, somebody. These cuts hurt people most. In fact, 2/3 of adults on Medicaid are already working. Like the parents of the kids in my care. They don't need any incentives to get a job. They need steady hours and a real pay raise, not cuts to the services that help them stay afloat while they do their essential jobs. Cutting Medicaid and SNAP would also blow huge holes in the state and local budgets. It would cost jobs and sink our economy faster. Why do they want to cut Medicaid, SNAP, and other public services? To give themselves as much as $7 trillion in tax cut. Try to wrap your head around that. $7 trillion with 7 and 12 zeros in it. That is an enormous number. Think about it. What that money could do if we invested it in public services, instead of giving it into Elon Musk and his billionaire friends. Imagine the difference that large amount of money will make in childcare, education, right? Healthcare and home care, affordable housing, public transit, libraries, and more. Let's face it. They are not going to stop with cuts to Medicaid to fund tax breaks. They want to roll back laws that protect the freedom to join a union. All my union people, can I get a whoop whoop? But we're not going to let that happen. We're getting organized and we're fighting back. The more people we have coming together to protect our freedoms, Medicaid and SNAP, the better chance we'll win. It's time for people to get organized and to fight these tax breaks for billionaires. Together, our voices are stronger and we are powerful. But what I will do, I will protect and defend Medicare. I will protect and defend SNAP. I will protect and defend child care. Who has the power? We have the power. What kind of power? People power.
has the power? What kind of power? Let's go fight, because we will protect and defend. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be speaking and telling my story. My name is Brittany B. More Trusting. I'm a proud member of Moms Rising from Jacksonville, Florida. Where are my moms at? I am a mom of 3 amazing children, 4, 7, and 9 years old, and I work full-time as a vocational rehabilitation counselor for the Department of Veterans Affairs. And as a hardworking American, like others, we are counting on lawmakers to put needs of our kids and our families above the interests of billionaires and mega corporations. And as a mom, I'm alarmed by threats to healthcare funding because my daughter, Drevin, has spastic quad cerebral palsy and daily seizures. After a healthy pregnancy, she had a tight true knot pulled in her umbilical cord at the end of labor, cutting off oxygen supply and causing HIE. She spent 33 long days in the NICU. Her first 2 years, she qualified for Medicaid. It was a godsend to our family, helped her get the strongest possible start that she could have. But because Medicaid is underfunded in Florida, we've been on a wait list for Medicaid waiver since she was 3 years old. We will be celebrating her 10th birthday next month. But that means she's been on a wait list for over half of her childhood. And most children in Florida, a lot of children in Florida age off of this wait list. She's also a public school a student. She goes to an amazing public school. It's awesome. I'm so glad she enjoys it so much. She loves attending with her peers, learning things. She's got a nurse because I pay for secondary insurance that goes with her, so she attends safely and gets her therapies and treatment while she's there. It has been an amazing time. But I'm worried about these cuts because they're going to affect her therapies. They're going to affect her IEP. They're going to affect everything for her. She's nonverbal, but she has a voice, and these cuts could silence her. She also has a home nurse at night, and these cuts could mean I could lose her in the sleep with her seizures. The care professionals deserve. And moms, we will unite, and we are going to be fighting until we continue to fight these cruel fights and win. We will raise our voices, and we will win our urgent needs. Thank you so much.
Know that every tear, every silent prayer, every hope that seems faint, it all matters. It matters because you matter to him. Now, let us pray. Heavenly Father, I come to you with a heart burdened by the struggles of this life. I come before you, knowing that you are my refuge and strength. When everything feels uncertain and fear creeps in, I know you are the rock on which I can stand. Lord Jesus, you are the Good Shepherd. You know my fears, my sorrows, my sleepless nights. I place all of this before you, Lord, because I trust that you see my tears, you hear my silent cries, and you understand my pain, even when no words are enough. Father, take this heavy burden from me, for I cannot carry it alone. I need your strength. You alone are my comfort when I am scared, my courage when I am weak. Lord, I stand in the midst of uncertainty, and yet I declare that my trust is in you. Even as I walk through this valley, even when the shadows feel like they're closing in, I know that I am not alone. I ask you to take my hand, steady my trembling heart, and lead me through this darkness. You have promised to never leave me, and I cling to that promise today. I need your peace that stills the raging storm inside me. Father, there are moments when I feel too tired to keep going, when hope feels distant. But I know that your grace is sufficient for me. You are my strength in my weakness. You hold my tears in your hands, and you comfort my broken spirit. Lift my heart, Lord, and fill it with your love and hope once again. Do not let my faith waver in these moments of doubt. I know you are here, working even when I cannot see it. Let my spirit rest in you, my Savior. Lord, you know how I have struggled, how I have tried to fight this battle. And I know that I don't have to fight it alone. You are the one who fights for me. You are the one who goes before me, who stands beside me, who lifts me up when I stumble. I trust you, Lord, to be my strength when I have none. I am not defeated, for I know you are greater than my fears, greater than my circumstances. Heavenly Father, I give to you all those who have wronged me. I forgive them. Every person who has hurt me, every person who